There. All right. So, welcome back to the Talking Average Fitness Podcast. If you've been following along at home, you know by now probably that my name is Sam Burns. And every once in a while, like a good CrossFit coach, I take pleasure in hurting your feelings. I'm joined, as always, by my compatriot, Mr. Kevin, who doesn't think you should use a weight belt ever, probably. Kevin, how you doing this fine morning, afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic, and as you said, like any good CrossFit coach, I regularly enjoy hurting people's feelings. I'm not here for your feelings.
No,
So,
no.
but yeah, the in terms of the belt, we're going to talk about it in today's episode. I just saw what the episode title was.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Anyways, yeah, we're going to talk about all this stuff. I think
Yeah.
this is the first this is what we did, like 5 in a row where we had a guest, and
Felt like that.
we had to stay relatively on track because of said guest. We can't let
Yeah.
them know our true colors and the fact that
Mm-mm.
neither of us can focus on a single thing for too long. There's too
I
many
know.
tangents to go
I
down.
know.
So, but the guest would keep us on track. So guess what today, folks? Buckle up. We're going on an adventure.
Right?
And who knows where it's going to land?
Yes. We don't. Just to be clear, we don't.
we really don't.
Yeah. So this, first of all, if you'll see this when you listen to this or watch this on YouTube. The title of this episode is Bullshit. And the title of this episode is Bullshit because I saw some shit. And I sent it to everybody I knew.
And then sent me some shit. so now we've both seen some shit.
I couldn't be the only person to see this. Like,
I didn't see it until you sent it to me. And even when you sent it to me, I still don't know what it was.
So backstory. So I'm flying back. I did a seminar down in Virginia Beach, and I'm flying back and scrolling Instagram like you do when you travel and stuff like that. And Instagram is, because it's hooked into everything, feeds me ads, right? So like it feeds me ads, it feeds me sponsored content. It's pretty good on staying up on the things that I'm interested in based on what my watch habits are. But how it thought this was a good idea, I am not 100% sure. So I'm gonna share the image, and then we'll talk about what we're looking at here, right? So I'm going to present, I'm going to share screen, we're going to share Brave tab, and we're going to share this thing, share. So can you see this?
Can you see? Yes.
Okay. So this is a screenshot of my
just looks
phone.
like a phone screen.
Yeah. So this is the screenshot that I took of my phone, and it says P.Volve, like P.Volve. Right. And of course, I don't know what's going on. So for those of you who can't see the image, there's a picture of a young woman, in yoga pants and a sports bra. And she has got what looked to be like wrist guards, like you used to wear when you went rollerblading. But between the wrist guards is what I guess is some kind of bungee cord, right?
It looks like it could be like either a bungee cord or like a thin rope or
something like that.
Something connecting her two wrists.
Yeah. And I can't imagine it's a fixed object. Like it can't be a steel pole or something because,
I mean,
like
maybe.
some kind of maybe some kind of resistance band or something, right? And then she is wearing something like it. You know how it looks like a Mark Bell,
Slingshot.
It looks like a slingshot band, right?
Yeah.
Around her thighs, and then in between her legs, but right up against her pelvis, is some kind of ball it's belted into this slingshot thing. So like it's not placed there accidentally. Like this is what this thing is designed to do. And I thought to myself, what the fuck am I looking at?
I still think I mean, Like the wristband thing, I mean, it's literally like it's like you said, if you have ever rollerbladed or bought like a rollerblading pack or some sort of something, like the wrist guard
Yeah.
with like it kind of looks like a biking glove, like it's all one piece
Mm-hmm.
attached by something. Could
Yep.
be a steel pole, could be a bungee cord, who knows? But then it's just like I said, it looks like the hip circle from
Yep.
Mark Bell's slingshot,
Yep.
and in between is literally is like a mini Roomba meets bowling ball
Yeah.
apparatus that's
Yeah.
just like right between her legs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I saw this and I sent this to a bunch of different people. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with this? And so in response, we decided to do an entire episode about bullshit.
Mm.
This is some bullshit. Like,
It's
go ahead.
I'm just I don't even know what this would do. I'd like I like if it was just like, a band like a hip circle
Yeah.
and you got her like in a quarter squat, like okay, you're doing like squats with the band around your knee, or you're doing like side steps, because obviously it's
Mm-hmm.
a still picture, so you don't know what type of movement she's doing or attempting to do.
Sure.
But if it's just the hip circle and she's like in somewhat of a squat, you're like, okay, at least she's doing something that looks relatively fitness related. But in this photo, for those of you guys that couldn't see, if you're just listening,
Yeah.
in this photo, she's literally standing like she's mid jumping jack,
Yeah.
like arms overhead, legs kind of like 45-degree angle
Yep.
down type deal. She's like full starfish mode.
Yes.
That's how I catch my power cleans. And so and so she's like full starfish mode with like bike gloves and a rubber band between her wrists,
Yeah.
almost like she was overhead squatting, but like holding the barbell between her wrists.
But sideways.
But a little bit sideways, but like just for ease of picture. And then
Sure.
like resistance band between her legs with like this little ball thing right up in there.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, if it's just the resistance band, it might make a little bit of sense. But it's not. There's also the extra thing that goes with, and I still don't know what it is. I would
Right.
love to like know what that is. I don't know. It's very confusing to me.
It's
Oh, did you look it up? Would you know what it is?
oh yeah. Like
Oh, okay, awesome, fantastic. What is it?
so let me go find this. Um so we're gonna go to this and I'm gonna pause this bad boy and I'm gonna mute this, right? So this company, P.Volve,
Mm.
I went down the rabbit hole on this one. So we're gonna present and share and Brave tab. Our method, P.Volve. So this is P.Volve, right?
She is running really hard.
Except she's not,
Well,
because she's
no.
wearing this thing.
Sorry. Well, you where the screen for me where I was looking at where it was cut off was like at kind of like her waist,
Yep.
and all I see is just the arms like full.
Yeah,
full
she's
spread. Okay,
so
interesting.
yeah, exactly. So it says the P.Volve method, an innovative low impact toning workout designed to help you break a sweat, not your body. So there's a lot baked into that if you play it back real slow.
Yeah, I'd
Right.
say you could break that down.
Right. So we got a little bit of a video thing here. And so we're watching this. So there's hand weights and there's ankle weights.
That's a Karate Kid move.
That is a Karate Kid move. It's definitely like a resistance band type thing.
It's on her ankles now.
So like that's like the balance required just to so there's a mat and there's handles and I'm pulling and then there's like an L sit type deal and then there's that whole thing. Right? P.Volve combines low impact movement and specially designed resistance equipment for truly effective sculpting, toning, and strengthening. For a truly effective sculpting, toning, and strengthening workout like no other. Okay, so
Sounds great.
I need to make this 100% clear.
Mm.
If any trainer ever tells you that they can sculpt or tone, walk away. Walk away as quickly as possible.
I'm gonna go one further.
Yeah.
Anyone, I don't care who you are, but trainer, normal person, whatever. Anyone who says the word tone
Yes.
is an idiot. And I will stand by that statement. If anyone, especially if they're a trainer or coach,
Yeah.
says I can help you get toned,
Hmm.
they don't know, and they're an idiot. I stand by that statement. I said what I said. Continue.
Okay, so I will say they might not be an idiot. They just might have bought a bunch of snake oil, right? So when we talk
Which
about,
comes back to idiot, but that's another episode. No, that could be another
just
podcast.
try to give them the benefit of the doubt here.
No,
So
I'm not. Like I
when
said
we,
before, I'm not here for your feelings.
I'm not here. Fuck your feelings. So it talking about toning, right? So when we talk about toning, there's no, you can't um tone versus like anything else, right? Toning is a process of hypertrophy, so like muscle
Mm-hmm.
growth, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is, muscle growth getting stronger. And then coupled with nutrition, a loss of body fat to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you can see the muscles. Those are
Right.
literally the only two things at play here, right? So there's no situation whereby you could walk into a gym and say, "Oh, I want to tone as opposed to lift weights." Doesn't
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
And furthermore, and you could say, "Well, I could do less weights for more reps." Yes, absolutely you could. That still doesn't change the underlying principles involved here, right? So everything that we're talking from a like resistance training standpoint, effective resistance training, i.e., resistance training that elicits an adaptation of any kind, right, has to do with bringing your muscles close to failure, right? So, in order to elicit the adaptation, you can do that from a strength bias standpoint, where you are moving a high percentage of your 1 rep max for between 1 and 5 repetitions, right? You will reach failure relatively quickly. You could do this for a lower percentage loading, so between 12 and 15 repetitions, and now we're into hypertrophy range, right? Where it's a little bit more about a pump, right? You're going to be able to get more reps in, but because it's at a lower weight, you do more reps to reach failure, right? So if you are not approaching failure, you don't have to get to failure. You don't have to fail a movement. But if you're not approaching failure, if you're not trying to get that appropriate volume relative to the load that is being lifted, you're not you're doing a very inefficient version of resistance training, regardless of what you want to call it. And the other half of it is nutrition, right? So across the board, if you want to do body fat recomposition, so we want to hopefully not lose muscle mass because that's really important for you as a human being, but we want to lose body fat so that you can see the muscle that you're growing, right? You need to be in a caloric deficit. Period, full stop. There's
Mm-hmm.
almost infinite number of ways
It's
to do that, but you got to
yep.
be in a caloric deficit, and that happens over time.
Yep.
Yeah. So, period.
Done.
Glad we had that. Thanks for coming
Yeah.
on my
Done.
TED Talk.
Great. Yeah. Great.
Right?
How to get fit quick with Sam
Yes.
Burns. It's
Right?
called lift weights. Don't eat like a dingus.
so, so, so the cool thing about this is we've given you the secret, right? And if you come into if you're a CrossFitter, you don't have to worry about this. You're doing the thing. That's why CrossFit is as popular as it is because it's ridiculously fucking effective. You
Mm-hmm.
know, CrossFit done poorly and poorly coached is still ridiculously fucking effective,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
But then there's this stuff, right? And I think I got this figured out, but we're going to walk through this real quick, right? So
Okay.
on the page it says the magic, big red fucking flag, the magic lies in functional fitness training, which works with your body's biomechanics. Okay.
Can we count like the buzzwords in this like little paragraph?
Can we count magic as a buzzword?
Yes.
Okay.
Magic, functional fitness, and
Biomechanics.
they just use biomechanics as a big word, but just it's a big word to make them sound smart. So I'm gonna count it as a buzzword. Continue.
Okay, absolutely. With exercises that incorporate core engaging, there's another one, balance, and
Yeah.
all of your ranges of motion. We get powerful activation of your major muscles as well as supporting them. Jesus. So
So that was 8 buzzwords in 2 sentences for those who are following along.
all of that is encompassed in functional fitness training. They could have stopped at functional fitness training, put a period.
But it but it's not though. They're like, we're
Well,
doing functional fitness training. If you, I mean, the people that are watching at home, when you scroll down to like the little video thing, I was like,
yeah,
I saw like maybe one functional movement thing, and it was the Karate Kid kick.
yeah, that
That
thing,
one,
yeah.
nailed it, nailed it.
So
That middle one looked almost like a bit of a like a looked like a back scale kind of, but like sideways
a little bit,
a little bit.
a little bit plyometric work here. Like, okay, so like to be
Yeah,
fair, a
another
lot of this
another
depends on
Karate
how
Kid.
you. Yeah, that one. I don't have no idea what's going on there. A lot of this depends on how you're defining functional, right? But I'm gonna tell you, they ain't defining functional in a manner
Oh
that is
man, yeah.
measurable, observable, and repeatable, right? Here we
Mm.
go. A lifted butt, toned legs, sculpted arms, and lines you won't believe in your abs. But that's just the start. By sharpening your body awareness and increasing your stability and mobility, our method, capital M, trademarked, will help you move more freely all day, every day. Okay. Thanks to our groundbreaking series tailored to goals, sensitivities, and other needs, and workout classes designed for you to level up at any time, we ensure those results never stop. The marketing is fantastic.
It's yeah, they're saying a lot of the right things. You know, what would be amazing,
What?
is if we take this
Yeah.
and get CrossFitters to do it. I want Matt Fraser to do this program
Fucking
and
P.Volve.
just like, well, yeah, but just like if they're having like trainers, people are like they're watching this dude's results and they're like, what the fuck is this guy on?
I
Like,
know.
like
I know.
they're like, we don't have a level for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't. Plus, it would also be amazing to watch Matt Fraser do like some of the moves that were in the video up there. Like, that would be amazing.
So there's a couple things here. Like um there is a video that like explains the methodology, and it's, quote unquote rooted in PT. And I'm like, I don't know a single PT that is having anybody do anything like what I just saw in that video.
Not any PT that's worth anything, anyways.
Well, I mean, maybe if you have like a victim with an inner, like a person with an inner ear issue, and so they need to work on balance, but like,
There's
so,
better ways to do it than what that is.
so many better
You
ways.
know,
So I saw this and I'm like, I can't stop myself. I watched front to back a 30-minute
oh,
P-ball workout. And that ball that is stuffed between their legs, that's called a P-ball. They
that of
really
course it is.
they really branded it like that.
I, you know, whoever did the marketing there, they deserve a raise because that was genius.
Like
I
they
mean,
sold that.
they sat like when they were in the marketing room, they're like, "What should we call it?" And someone's like, "Hear me out, guys, a P-ball." And the amount of laughing, they're like, "Guys, we have to name it the P-ball." There's like, we can't not now.
Right. What's funny
It's
is
oh
like no one argued. They just went for it. So
no, but yeah,
we're gonna we're gonna watch something. We're gonna watch a little thing here, right? So I'm just gonna let this run. 30-minute intro to P-ball, right? So we're skip ahead. So the warm up is, kind
doing some
of,
stretching.
yeah, it's, oops, sorry, not this
I
one.
mean,
Show this
like
tab.
stretching, but it's like it's moving.
Yeah, it's, we're stretching and we're moving and, opposite sides, and, it's dynamic stretching stuff, Everything that they do is
Yeah.
done on these little mats. So these mats are, what looks to be like a meter by a meter. It's cut into nine sections. And after the dynamic stretching bit, where's the good stuff?
I'm not
Right?
gonna lie, that little mat thing when they pulled it out in like the first video that was like up top of the page when she
Yep.
kind of like flapped it like that. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was like a constellation mat.
Yes, Yes.
Except I'm
All
like, what
right.
is that for? And then I get it, but at first glance, I was like, it's stars.
Okay, so I'm going to pause this right here. So we're 3 minutes and 56 seconds into this video. This
Adequate
is
warm up.
when, after, yeah, super quick warm up. And most of that was
Hmm.
talk. It's like a 2 minute warm up.
Perfect.
This is when they grab the P.Volve. All right. So we're gonna watch this ridiculousness, right? So the next several minutes are them getting into it.
It looks like a VR headset right now,
A little bit, all right?
right?
And you'll
It
notice
looks
she's wearing like Viva barefoots, like super thin,
yes.
like small. If you were wearing like Nike running shoes, that thing would be almost impossible to get over the heel.
You'd have to take your shoes off and then put it
You
back on.
you'd have to sit down and then put it on and belt it on and then somehow stand back up with your feet belted together. And then this is the part that kills me. So it's like, you know, really centered, blah blah blah. So they
The
do the
straps are
whole.
lighting up their glutes.
Yes, it is right.
I'm reading the captions.
And so I love this. Glue this foot down.
It's glued.
Okay, yeah, it's glued, right? And
It's
so then what
glued.
happens
Say
next
less.
is like several minutes of just abductor work, right? Just hip abductors going to town, glute activation, and like talk about glue this foot down. This woman here in the black shirt in the rear, like she's driving out so hard that her foot is rolling off to the side.
Yeah,
So I
she's
don't know how much gluing
so
is
far
happening.
overpronated. Well, they didn't specify which part of your foot to glue, to be fair.
This is, I suppose, right. Um, Also, what we're watching here, this is as close as they get to a squat. They might go into,
Wait, really?
yeah, they might go into a deeper, like a more immature version of the squat, so forward inclination of the torso.
Yeah, so like my front squat, we're good.
Yeah, there is zero ankle dorsiflexion for their squat the
Oh,
entire episode. So
amazing.
for those of you who are watching at home, it's one of those people, where the knees can't transit forward over the toe. So yeah, yeah,
They've been doing side steps with one leg for the past 2 minutes.
I know.
My my butt would have fallen off at this point.
That's what I mean. And then they go
On
to
fire.
forward side steps,
Oh,
and she's like, "Oh,
knee
don't have your knees forward," and they take
knees
a
in.
step and back, and then a step and back. Right, the sports stance walk. This banded monster walks.
Yes, pretty
It
much.
is. It's banded monster walks. Now,
Except, wouldn't that be more? I mean, this might just be me being an idiot, but wouldn't that be more? They left the mat. They broke the rules. Game over. Um, you walk past your mat. You can't do that.
look how
Um,
fast. Look at this shit.
Now it's
But
taking me
like
back to like 80s like step aerobics. They're missing the little like the one step thing,
the
the
little
little
the little
riser.
step up, yeah.
Yeah, the little riser.
So like if you're looking to light the shit out of your glutes and your abductors, like mission accomplished. That will absolutely do it. You know? Yeah, like
What's
but
the
I bet
ball
you
for though?
well, okay, we're gonna see, right?
Okay,
I'm gonna come back
I was
over
like
here.
the band. Okay, sure. Why is there a ball there? Oh,
And now we're gonna oh yeah, look at that. Oh man, that was your warm up. Let's pull this up. So now here's the awkward bit, right? So you gotta shimmy this bad boy up your knees. And then shift it into position. Which
oh.
like okay, cool. Like P-wall strap above your
See,
knees, right? And then it goes even higher at some point. So the sports,
yeah,
I think another sports stance walk. So it's just like
yeah.
step and hold, and then okay, and then step back and hold, and step and hold, and step back and hold. I have no idea what is happening. Is this like a body weight isometric exercise?
Kind of. It
I'm,
look well. They
I'm
were like in the little stagger stance, and then she rotated her knee out a bit. So again, just like look working abduction. I mean,
yep,
she's like knee out and then knee in and then knee out.
a little bit
This
of
is
external
literally
rotation.
yeah. I mean,
Yep,
this is if you took this what they're currently doing and
yeah,
like made it shorter. Like this would be like a decent. Well, no, it'd be like a decent little like because I do stuff like this for myself and with classes. Like you grab we have the hip halos from like
yeah,
crossover symmetry.
yes,
Like a bucket of those. And so like how people do like side steps and air squats with like driving to like prime for like a squat day, like during the
yep,
general warm up, I'll have that as part of it. So it's like if you
absolutely.
took the stuff they're doing and made it not so like just shorter time wise. You'd be like a decent kind of like hip primer for some squats
Hmm.
if they squatted a little bit. But I still don't know what the ball is for though.
And
Is
then
it
there's
like
this.
to squeeze to work like adduction, like something to
So that does come in, right? So the leg
okay.
hover, and this one is just good. Abduction, again, again, again. Pull the leg out, hold, like
That's a sexual harassment violation.
probably. The lateral reach. Also, we're 20 minutes in. We're 20 minutes into a like hip and glute abduction workout.
Yep.
So like let's be fair here. That's like saying, "Hey, I got the best new, toning and sculpting program. We're going to do squats for 20 fucking minutes." Yes, if you do squats for 20 minutes, you will end up sore and like with a burn, you
Yeah, you'll
know?
be a puddle of a human. Be 20-minute AMRAP, air squats, go.
Right. Like how absurd. By the way, I made a bunch of high schoolers do a 2 minute AMRAP, max air squats, or maybe it
Did
was
they
five
die?
minute. Oh yeah, oh yeah, and they didn't die really until like 2 days later, where they're like,
Oh,
"Coach, we
you'll be
can't walk
like,
up the
yeah,
stairs."
the delayed soreness. Oh, gross.
So bad. So
Terrible.
it's not until here we go. So finally we get to this point, and it's like, okay, we're gonna take this thing, and we're gonna shimmy this thing
We're
right
gonna
up
shove it right up there.
base of your pelvis. I'm quoting from the video here.
Yeah,
So,
that's because it's politically correct.
yep. So this is where we get into, and they're like, let's hit a plank. It is,
So now the focus is to push in your inner thighs. Again,
yep,
I'm just reading the captions. Push in your inner thighs.
mm-hmm. 21:03 on the video. They proceed to do a plank to down dog for the next 2.5 minutes.
What the fuck?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
it's a 2.5 minute plank to down dog, which, like, sure, if you squeeze something that's between your legs as hard as possible and you keep decent position for the plank to down dog, yeah, it's absolutely effective, you know?
But I mean, I'm sitting there like, I mean, we talked again, like this is gonna be making fun a little bit of this workout when you're like, effectiveness and they're literally doing like when we say plank, like basically top of a push-up position
Yep.
to a down dog position whilst squeezing this ball that's in your crotch the whole time for almost 3 minutes. I mean, we talked about how like debilitating a 30-second proper hollow hold is. Like
Absolutely.
literally do a proper hollow hold for 30 seconds. You need to rest for 1 to 3 business days before you try again. And but they're doing this for for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, my shoulders. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
like they must have boulder shoulders if that's just insane to me.
Well, and here we get to
But
the
yet,
intern. Go ahead.
but yet we haven't. So here's the thing: is like they're doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things
Yes.
happening. It's long duration holds and things like I don't think I could literally squeeze unless you're like just it's like little squeeze like basically like
Activate
a
off.
one on the RPE scale type thing. If you're
Yes.
for 2.5 minutes, if I'm like squeezing a ball that's between my legs trying to get like adductor work
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
I I'm not squeezing that for 2.5 minutes. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tear something in my hip. But
Right?
so far we are almost 24 minutes into a 29-minute workout. I have yet to see a major joint be taken through more than what would you say, like 20 degrees flexion or extension, like range of motion.
Yeah. I mean, so this is where we get to something that approximates something that we would call functional. I mean, the plank is a functional movement for sure.
Well,
But
yes.
when I think of functional, I think of everyday carryover. Like that's my biggest category for like, things that are functional. We squat because it's what you do every single time you get off the toilet. We
Mhm.
deadlift because it's the safe way to pick an object up off the ground. You know,
We
I don't
farmers
know.
carry so you can bring the groceries in one trip.
Absolutely. I don't know what this is, right? So here we are, the internal rotation chair sit, right? So she's talking about external rotation of the hip, right? So internally rotate and then stand up. And then internally rotate
I
and
love that
stand up,
this is called a chair sit. What kind of
right?
chair are you sitting on this way?
Right? And so when we go to the side here, you'll get a and pause right there.
That is
What's that? 15
that's
degrees flexion in the knee and
maybe.
call it
You're looking at me.
85.
Yeah, you're pretty close to that's like that's 2/3 of a good morning. That's two
It's
thirds of a proper good morning.
Yes, it's 2/3 of a proper good morning, except for the fact that they've got their fucking knees
Well, yeah,
internally
they're
rotated.
knees in.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn the captions off so we can see this. Her toes are making a diamond, like making a triangle, right?
Yeah.
Does she looks like someone who has to pee. Like that's she's and like I got to go. Like that's what this looks like. And this
I
whole
mean,
thing, they
you,
continue to do this for like another several minutes.
triangles are the most structurally sound geometric shape. So if you just make a bunch of triangles with your body, you will be more stable. That's
I
just physics. I don't make the rules.
and the P-ball squeeze. Look at this. Glute activation. Yes, like drive something like put an object between your legs, drive as hard as you can into that object. Yes. Absolutely, you will smoke the shit out of your glutes, you'll smoke the shit out of your hip abductors.
I love that someone has made a business out of this.
Well, so let's shop. Let's
Oh God. How
this is
much is it?
yeah.
Is it
So
wait.
go ahead.
Higher or lower than a true form runner?
Oh, well, true form runners are pretty expensive. So
Well, that's
um,
that's partially a joke, but I'm also like kind of serious because there are some stupid things where like you're like, this is wow. Where
right.
you're like, here's this thing, it's for sale, and you're like, well, how much? And then you look at it and you're like, why? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why is it
Yep.
that expensive? It's
All right. So
a total
here,
transformation kit. Gives everything you need.
so here, hang on a second. Hang on a second. So
Okay.
there's the digital membership,
Yep.
which is $20, right?
Which
And
I'm
then there's
guessing gives you access to like the exercise bank and whatever the online classes are.
uh-huh. And then there's the P-ball, which is $65. If I were to purchase them separately, it would
Hmm.
be $85.
Yep.
But the P-ball kit that has the same images as the digital membership and the P-ball is $89. And they've got this strike through next to it where it's like, now we're giving you a discount down from 120.
That's the best.
What the
That,
effing
I mean,
fuck?
that's marketing at its finest. Because if people are looking, they're like, hey, I want to start this. I want to get it going. P-ball,
Yeah.
that like, P-Volve, it's the one for me. And you go to the thing because the top three,
Yep.
the top row essentially are all the one. It's the prices are in red letters with the small gray text with a strike through it. That's like
Mm-hmm.
the previous price. We've
Yep.
all seen this when any website or any store does like a markdown. It's the way they do it. The new sale price, big red letters. The previous air quotes price is striked out in like italicized gray. The thing is when it makes people think that you're getting a deal.
Yeah.
Makes people think that they're getting a deal when you're not. That's the original price of the thing is $89.99. They
Yep.
just slap something more expensive next to it, striked out. So you're like, oh, I'm doing math. Was it $30 off? I'm getting $30 off.
Right.
Fuck, easy. Like what a great deal.
But
It's
but it's like, okay, so like I think we all know that. I think most people know that, right? It's like, okay, this thing really doesn't cost $120. You're selling it for $90.
yeah.
But what kills me is that there's this and this right here that are like, it's not $90, it's $85. And so it's
Yeah,
still
for the
less than
same
the
thing. Yeah, less in the kit. What's in
oh,
the essentials kit? Because that looks like that's the ball, the resistance band thing, the wrist guards, a
yeah.
little
So
fucked up bit.
5 pieces of equipment. What is this? The
Yeah,
P ball, the P
the P
band is the
bands,
hand thing, right?
ankle
One
weights.
ankle weights, pair of 1.5 pound ankle weights, the heavy ankle band, and floor gliders. You'll notice all of the images
Perfect.
have that floor mat. The floor mat is not included. The floor mat
No,
is an additional $100,
that
right?
checks out. Yep.
Absolutely. Then we have the total transformation kit.
Still doesn't involve the floor mat.
Actually, it doesn't. That's fucking hilarious. So the ball, the band, the ankle weights, 3 pound ankle weights in addition to
Oh,
1.5 pound ankle weights,
cooking with
heavy
gas
and
now.
light ankle band gliders, plus 2 pound hand weights. Yeah. A precision foam roller, the P3 trainer, which, okay, okay, hang on a second. We're going to zoom in on this. So this thing that this guy's doing right here,
Yeah.
he's this thing is hooked to his ankle, and
Yep.
on the other end of it, on the other end of a resistance band, is a ball that he's just holding, right?
Yeah.
That thing, so Newtonian physics, right? If he lets go, if it slips out of his hand, right, he's
Yeah.
going to break his ankle.
Yeah.
Like, if that thing
And
is solid in any way, shape, or form, it's either going to break itself or it's going to break him.
like, just use a handle. Why is it a ball?
Yeah. Oh, and then a
Anyways,
slant board, which, okay, yeah, a slant board, that's kind of cool.
knee over
But
toes guy.
knees over toes guy, I love that guy. But still, not the fancy mat, right?
No,
Not the fancy mat.
I love that. So I'm wondering because I'd be willing to bet money that if you looked at the packs, because it's like
Hmm.
it's you have the P bundle, you have the starter bundle, and then like the total transformation bundle or some shit.
Yeah, you have the
If the
single ball kit, the
essentials,
essentials
the
kit, and the total
essentials,
transformation.
I would be willing to bet that if you took I also love that it's the precision foam. It's just a foam roller, the precision foam roller.
Yeah.
It's literally just one of like the half foam rollers.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you were to look at all the equipment in said kit
Hmm.
and you were to buy them individually, it's probably cheaper than the kit price if the pattern follows. We don't need to go through and do all the math because I'd be switching back and forth page. You kind of want to do it?
There's a part of me that wants to. All right,
Okay.
so what do we have?
So
We
you
have,
need the 1.5 ankle weights, you need the heavy band, you need the wrist thingies, the gliders, and the P-Volve. So
okay.
and the digital membership. So you got digital membership, which is I'm gonna pull up the mat. You control the thing, I'll control the
No,
math.
no, no. I can already tell. Like this
Yeah.
is where they're making their money. Like right
Yeah.
here. Like they're getting someone to buy a whole bunch of shit that is what's so like if you bought everything individually, like that's how they get
Actually,
you to buy the kit is because each thing individually is like $70.
yeah,
But so they're like they're pricing you into buying the kit.
pretty
So
much.
the reason they're doing that though is because the cost to manufacture this stuff is crazy low. And so it's like 200% markup
Yep.
on, like the digital membership is almost pure profit. They've just created all the videos already. That's already on top of
Yeah. They're
that.
not creating anything else. It's just
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. 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 Well, I'm glad we spent, 40 minutes ripping that shit apart.
I'm so glad because it turned us on to the topic again, kind of like continuing our conversation today. Like when you sent me this and
Yeah.
we were chatting about it and we're like, dear Christ, what is this?
Right.
It kind of spurned the rest of turned us the way of there are other ridiculous things that people buy for fitness. And we're
Yeah.
going to keep it to fitness because there's a lot of ridiculous things people buy. But anyways,
For sure.
just for fitness. And we were going to talk about extra gear and stuff that we can have in the gym, buy in the gym, people bring to the gym, because if you tell a CrossFitter this, this might make you fitter,
Yeah.
sold, easy, take my
Yeah.
money. Like it done. It doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Noble has put out the same shoe for the past decade in the same colors almost every year.
Yeah.
Yet people still buy them.
Yeah.
Because they're like the floral pack comes with this, or it's like it's the same as it fucking was last year, but it's a new one. It's not really new, it's just re-released it. It was like when Reebok re-released the Nano 2 and everyone lost their shit.
Oh, it's great.
Although to be fair, the Nano 2 is elite, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But same thing. It's the same shoe, it's the same whatever, but it gives people a reason to spend their money and they like doing it. So there's a lot of things that people buy in their pursuit of fitness and health and happiness
Mm-hmm.
that in my mind are not needed at all. Now there's a little asterisk on all of our statements here, big asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
If having insert piece of equipment here
Yes.
makes you happy
Yes.
and you enjoy it
Yes.
and you find value in it,
Absolutely.
you are not a bad person. We still love you. You
Yes.
can have all the equipment you want. If it makes you happy and tickles your pickle, have at it.
Yep.
You're not a bad person, but we're just going to give our thoughts and opinions on these pieces of equipment as it comes down to like how necessary that they are.
Yeah.
And I don't know, where do you want to start?
The
Like what
landmine.
piece of the land? Oh, okay. So
100% not necessary.
okay, I agree. I
You
agree
can
with yeah.
accomplish the function that is facilitated by a land by so for people who don't know what a landmine is, a landmine is a a hollow sleeve that you insert one end of a barbell into, and it's mounted on a hinge so
Yeah,
that you
basically
can
allows the barbell to pivot.
yeah, it allows the barbell to pivot and press, and like you could stick a barbell in the corner of a room with a
Mm.
tennis ball in the end and
Hmm.
do all the same things, right?
I've seen people take two 45-pound plates, put them together, and then like the little crease that happens in there, just shove a corner of a barbell in there and do the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, no, like the landmine attachment, not necessary at all.
Yeah.
Um, if you have one, you can use it. It doesn't mean you're a bad person if you use it. I'm not saying that the movements that you can do with it don't have some value sometimes,
Yeah.
but I'd also argue that you can do similar movements or even the same movements with a dumbbell or a kettlebell
Yes.
without a landmine. Like
Yes.
you don't need to try and jerry rig a landmine because it's so unique.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing like a half kneeling landmine press, do a half kneeling dumbbell press. You're going to get 99% of the benefit with negative 1,000% of the setup.
Absolutely. And cost.
Yes.
Yes.
So awesome.
Actually,
Okay, land.
you know what would be fun? We'll do this.
Ooh, you going to Rogue?
Yeah.
All
we're
right.
just gonna we're just
The
gonna
best
go ahead
fucking
and
the
do
best
that.
fucking website. It's
So
great.
so um things that I have purchased that are not necessary. A great example
Mm,
is a landmine. I own a
mm,
landmine. Um,
yep.
I love it. It's great. 100% not necessary. Equipment shop. Let's do strength equipment. Now,
We
what do
should
you
go down the.
think?
Would it be under strength equipment?
Um,
Hmm. It might be under Rogue rigs and racks because I know Rogue makes like a rig attachment one.
oh yeah.
Rig and
Um,
rack accessories.
so we'll do
Strongman.
yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. Um, body weight and gymnastics. You know, hey, landmine.
Use a little search bar.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
That one.
this one. This is the one that I own. Stick it in a bunch of plates, put the barbell in it, do stuff. Right? 100% not necessary.
Yep.
Also fits on that thing. Ooh, that's good to know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that's it.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Landmine. I'll go if we're going to go like equipment, kind of like gym equipment.
Yep.
A sled. Not necessary.
100% not necessary.
Not necessary. You know what you can do? Grab a weight plate, put it on the floor, push that bitch. It's
Yes.
horrible.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Yes.
Although to be fair, like if you're gonna do a plate push thing, generally you need like the smooth ones, whether it's a competition plate or like Rogue has their Echo plates that are like the dense rubber that is smooth. You
Yes.
kind of need that. If you do the crumb rubber like the Echo plates, you're not really gonna be able to push that really well, or
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get a mega glute pump pushing that thing like 3 inches. It's
Uh-huh.
like it's gonna be the hardest thing you ever do.
Well, and then you get into
So
things like the torque
the
tank here.
torque tank, the torque tank, it's just a giant sweatshirt rack.
It's a giant sweatshirt rack.
I'm sorry.
A
It
$1,600
it takes it takes
sweatshirt
up
rack.
it takes up so much. Have you had like seen one in a gym before?
I,
Like
I
it.
I've seen one. I saw one at Wadapalooza.
Okay, they take up so much space.
Yeah,
From if we're like if you're an affiliate, if you're in your garage and you don't care about floor space and you want one and you have the money to get it, knock yourself out.
absolutely.
Like they have use for it. Like you can push it and pull it places.
Yep.
If you're in an affiliate where generally most affiliates floor space is at a premium,
Yeah.
the less shit you can have on your floor, the better.
Yeah.
So putting down a essentially like a 4x6 torque tank,
Yep.
like you just took up one barbell's worth of space in your class on your floor, essentially.
Well, they do sell a rack that you can hang on your wall to hold
Oh
them.
my God. How does that would rip down the wall? How does I don't even understand. My brain can't process how that
Uh,
works.
I love it. They need a whole swivel attachment. It's a $120 swivel attachment for this thing. That's how cumbersome this motherfucker is. Ugh.
That's a lot. So okay, so landmine sled,
Here,
not
you know, we
necessary.
I own a pair of these and they're amazing. If you do need
Adjustable
adjustable
dumbbell.
dumbbells, oh, they're great. What's ridiculous? What else is ridiculous?
The
Thompson
lo-
fat
the
bells.
loadable the loadable dumbbell handles that Rogue makes.
Yes.
The
I was
loadable handle with the loadable plates that make like, hey, you can make 100 pound dumbbell, but it's like more expensive than if you just buy 100 pound dumbbell.
I know.
Um,
What's another really good one?
I mean, so
This,
you could argue, ooh,
the kettle grip. Have you seen this?
yeah.
Yeah. Bulk
I mean,
chrome rubber.
if we're talking about like not necessary,
Uh-huh.
you could argue that if we're talking like bare bones essentials for fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you could, if you're, like, hey, I'm going to work out in my garage, I'm working out from home, we're going to give it a go solo.
Yep.
What's the equipment that I need to do the fitness? And I'm going to put this
Oh.
question I have my own answer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hold that right here. I'm gonna put this question to you. You're building a garage gym. You're starting from scratch. You're balling on a budget. What do
What's
you
my budget?
need? Don't ask me this question.
It matters.
It does matter. I would say you have to spend. Yeah, keep it to $500 or less.
Oh,
Like you're balling on a budget. You're pretending
hard
you're
limit.
me. You're pretending you're me, and you're putting together a garage gym. You're taking fresh out of school, zero money Sam, and you know
Right.
we're back on Rogue. He's shopping. He's
I'm just looking at some. Um,
prices.
yeah, I'm looking at some prices.
If
So,
if you if you go like slightly over 500, I won't lose my mind. But like we're thinking like the budget of you're trying to keep it like $500 or less.
um, 500
And we're
bucks or
not and
less.
we're not counting like if you're handy, we're not counting like, well, I can DIY a pull-up bar. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Like you're um
Fuck you.
we're like you're buying stuff for a home gym. We're disregarding DIY stuff because you could DIY a medicine ball by buying a $10 basketball at Dick's Sporting Goods, slicing it open, filling it with sand, and duct taping it shut. So
Right.
so we're gonna stay away from DIY stuff. What are your essentials because if we're talking stuff that you don't need for a gym or for fitness, let's start with like, what do we do need for fitness? And then, because there's a whole lot of nuance. Like you could argue that like, well, dumbbells aren't necessary, but
Sure, sure, sure.
like
If
you could argue
if
that anything's not necessary. You
if I
could do
was
fitness by just running.
if I was going to go for the minimum amount of equipment required, the top
Yes.
of the list would have to be a set of rings. Hands down.
Ooh, I should have known that coming from you.
So, with a set of rings, I can do anything pulling,
Yep.
I can do anything pressing,
Mhm.
right? At body
Yep.
weight in
Yep.
at least two planes. And if I
Mhm.
want to get batshit, I can do it in a third plane as well. Um, the versatility offered by a set of rings takes care of essentially all of my upper body training,
Pretty
right?
much. Yep.
So after that, I would want some kind of conditioning, something. Assuming I want an option that is not running or burpees, I'd probably pick a jump rope.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I'm gonna, I want to get some kind of loading, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd probably pick a sandbag. So I get a big enough bag that I could simply adjust the load
It just,
based on
yep.
sand. Sand is
Yep.
cheap,
Yep.
and you can get fucked up with a sandbag.
Oh, you can get
Yeah. So
gross.
one of the most eye-opening experiences I had was taking Rob Orlando's strongman course, and the the simplicity of a single big heavy object. And his gym down, if you ever get the
Mhm.
it's I think it's Bridgeport, Connecticut. His gym is awesome in typical Rob Orlando style. I've never seen so many Atlas stones in a gym. I mean,
Yeah.
dozens, different weights, different sizes, big tires, small tires. Like he's got all the toys. And if I had a single bag capable of holding 200 pounds of sand and then a cheap vessel to hold 200 pounds of sand
So you
and
can like
then
fill, empty, fill. Yeah.
200 pounds of sand,
Hmm.
which that's cheap as well. There's everything I need right there.
Okay. So
Like
you're going rings, jump rope, sandbag.
rings, jump rope, sandbag. You can
Okay.
do a massive amount of
Y-
fitness
You
with
can
just that.
be, yep, you can be mega fit.
Yes.
So I'm going to add two things to your list because I fully agree with your list. If we're talking like bare bones, the cheapest you can be or
Yep.
can get
Yep.
with what you can get for the cheapest amount possible, a sandbag, um, a set of rings, and a jump rope. I,
And the
I,
sand.
well, right, and the sand.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get all that for you probably like somewhere right around $200 or maybe
Something
less.
something like that. The sandbag gets expensive. We're also assuming that I'm buying this from Rogue, but like
Right.
if I
A
picked a
rogue
200-pound
sandbag's not that
sandbag,
bad.
it's $135 for a 200-pound sandbag.
Okay, so never mind. So I was thinking, so okay, so you might be like a bit over $200, but
For sure.
all put together, not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add two things
Okay.
to your list because I
Okay.
like your list.
Okay.
I'm gonna add a pull-up bar
Okay.
and I'm gonna add a pair of dumbbells.
I can see that for sure.
So for me, my list was going to be, again, thinking cheap, was going to be a pair of dumbbells
Mm-hmm.
at whatever, appropriate loading for you, a
Yep.
pair of dumbbells, a jump rope, and a
Mm-hmm.
pull-up bar. And those were going to be my three pieces of equipment. I love that you went rings and sandbag because you're quirky. And but I really appreciate as soon as you made the argument of like if you have a pair of rings,
Yeah.
and we're assuming that you're going to hang them from like the trusses in your garage.
Yeah.
Like you can do pull-ups, toes to ring,
Mm-hmm.
ring rows,
Yep.
ring dips, ring push-ups, ring handstand push-ups. So let's just
Yep.
say if you're feeling spicy,
Yep.
you can do single arm variations, like you like archer push-ups, archer
Front
ring
levers,
rows,
back
yep,
levers,
L
ice cream
sits,
makers, L sits.
yep, everything.
Yep.
Depending on how high your ceiling is and how you hang them, skin the cat, you can get that
Sure.
going.
Yep.
You can do muscle ups,
Absolutely.
both strict seated kipping, again, depending on how high your ceiling is and how you hang them and how long you are as a human.
That's true.
So like you can literally do, as soon as you said that, I'm like that because my list was going to be like I said, pull up, jump rope, dumbbells.
Yeah.
And then you said rings and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
if I could have both, I'd have both. That'd be great.
Right.
But if we're going bare bones, I would agree with you on the rings and change. I would go rings, jump rope,
Yeah.
and dumbbells.
Yeah.
Just because I think you have a little bit more variation of what you can do with loading with the dumbbells. Like you can do a dumbbell thruster, you can do presses, you can do
Yeah.
like stuff that you can't do with a sandbag necessarily. Well, yeah, not with that attitude.
Sure.
I don't know if you've ever tried a sandbag thruster. It's not fun.
First of all, through Jesus, anything is possible. All right. Second of all,
we
no,
just
no,
got
I've never done a sandbag thruster.
so as soon as
No.
you said Jesus, we just got sponsored by Mayhem Athlete. I don't know how that happened, but
Oh.
but so anyways, I think that would be like great if you're looking garage gym. I mean, that's basically what most people were balling out with during
Yeah.
the crazy COVID times.
I mean, that was
With the core.
luxury if you had that
That
stuff.
whole, if you had a pair of dumbbells, you were like, I am living it.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
man, but I think that's great that the kind of bare bones equipment things like on top of that, on
Mhm.
top of those things we've mentioned, which we mentioned 5 pieces of equipment,
Yeah.
everything else is essentially a bonus if we're talking like the minimum you need for fitness.
Completely superfluous.
Yep. However, if you want to optimize fitness in terms of optimizing your competency across all 10 general physical skills, you're going to need a barbell. And you're going to you don't think so? Ooh, I can see there's an argument there. It's brewing. It's there. It's not really
I
brewing. It's there. It's ready.
so it's funny. So the seminar I was at this past weekend was CrossFit gymnastics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the awesome thing about being a part of this seminar and like coaching people through it is I get to watch the light bulb click on behind their eyes.
Mm.
And I get to watch them realize how much they have shortchanged themselves in their gymnastics development. And to be fair, I understand why nobody wants to do gymnastics. Like, it is fucking rude. It doesn't care what your goals or dreams or aspirations are. Like, it's a hard path to walk. But when I watch Dane Levy, like, top of ring support, come down to ring dip, transition, and he pauses, and his body's in a perfect hollow position.
That's
Transition,
infuriating.
transition to knuckles, transition to elbows. And then just for shits and giggles, Birdie's like, front lever, and he presses to front lever, and then he comes back. Like, you can't watch that and argue that he's not strong. And the guy like never touches a barbell. He like makes quarterfinals every year, like,
Yep.
you know.
Okay.
So
So
and then I
okay.
think like
Yeah.
barbell,
I
right? You know,
sure. Yep. Yeah. No,
right?
I full 100% understand, respect your argument. I think that the strict strength that you get from gymnastics
Uh-huh.
and then like the strength and capacity to move a barbell of various loadings are
Uh-huh.
two different capacities.
I argue that the sandbag can do the same thing as the barbell, loaded appropriately.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I like that.
Right? I
I
got a
like
200-pound
yeah.
sandbag. Cool. Clean
Yeah.
that sandbag
Yeah.
to your shoulder.
Oh,
Fuck.
I can't. Can't do it. It's not possible.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. I can't do it. No, that's a great point. I think
I mean, the exception would be
yeah,
snatching. Like, I
yeah,
can't
yeah. I
snatch
think
with a
like
sandbag.
well, not with that attitude. But I mean, but I think if you have the sandbag loaded again, if we're talking about just so here's where I'm going to go back on my words. I'm going to admit that I'm wrong. Which if you're looking for people that like, you want to listen to and are smart people that
Yeah.
admit they're wrong, good stuff. So I'm going to eat my words because now that I'm thinking about it and processing and
Yeah.
the weightlifter in me has calmed down because I was offended there for a sec.
Yeah.
But your caption says you're hurting feelings. So we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, if we're talking about like just strength, like the strength of your muscular tissue and your nervous system to produce force,
Yes.
like A sandbag, even though sometimes depending on like the size of the sandbag and how you're doing it,
Hmm.
sometimes you're not in like, probably not set up in like a perfect deadlift position because the implement doesn't allow that. However, if you learn how to brace, you'll be good.
I see what
Uh,
he did there. Everybody see what he did there?
if you learn how to brace, then you'll be good. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that nobody picks up the groceries with a perfectly neutral spine. Nobody bends down to put their socks on or put their
Yeah.
shoe on with a perfectly neutral spine. Yes, we want to lift with that because it gives you, like a good relative rate of safety
Yes.
in those positions and against
Yes.
load. However, if you're properly braced and you're learning left stand, like you can do sandbag deadlifts,
Mm-hmm.
you sandbag cleans, just beat you
Sandbag
up and take
Jefferson
your lunch off
curls.
it. Oh,
Who
horrible.
hurt you?
Like, gosh. And so, yeah, I mean, you can do, I mean, again, because we're talking appropriately loaded, right? You have your
Yeah.
bucket where you can add and take out sand.
Absolutely.
You can do sandbag presses. You can do sandbag squat.
Yep. Sandbag overhead squats.
Sandbag. Yep. You can either do like, the bear hug, which if you want a like butt and low back pump, like you have
Oh,
no idea.
yup.
Do like bear hag a sandbug. Bear. What did I just say? Bear hag
Bear
a
hag a
sandbug.
sandbug.
you know, I stand by it.
It's officially gone too long. We're at that point.
So do that. Like hold a sandbag on your chest,
Yep.
hugging that thing,
Yep.
and do some squats. Your posterior will be on fire, and you will learn that you have poop that you didn't know you had.
Because it will make an appearance.
Because oh my god, it will. Oh, I was like, there have been times where like we're to the gyms with James and Lachlan. They're like, we're gonna do some sandbag carries. I'm like, sick. Let's hop right in. You pick it up. You're like, nope, we gotta go potty break first.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh man. It
Like an in-law at a will reading, it will make an appearance.
will make an appearance, whether you want it to or not, whether you're ready or not.
Yep.
Oh man.
Good lord.
So fun stuff. So I'll take back my statement. You don't need a barbell. You need something with that you can like load. Like you need
Yes.
some heavier loading relative to the
Yes.
movement pattern, and you can achieve that with a sandbag.
Yep.
If you wanted to achieve that with just some heavy ass dumbbells, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Odd object stuff can sometimes make you in weird ways stronger
Yeah.
than traditional barbell type stuff
Yep.
in certain movement things. So boom, there you go. The
Yeah.
essentials of what you need. I don't know if you want to go any longer and just talk about like wrist strap lifters, knee sleeves, and all the other shit you don't need.
Now, well, let's
Because
save
that's
that for
all of
another
it.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all. That's
Okay.
all superfluous as well. Let's
Okay.
save that for next time. We'll make a list of things that you probably don't need to buy that you'll buy anyway, and under what
All of it.
circumstances you should buy. But for right now, like first of all, if you're doing CrossFit, great, keep doing CrossFit. If you're doing P.Volve, maybe
Godspeed.
ask for a refund and then come do CrossFit. Um, and I say that because I want you to actually get the things that they're promising you. And then if you are looking for stuff to buy and you want to get really strong and really capable, doesn't take much. But like anything else, that doesn't mean that you won't have to work hard.
Mm.
Yeah. Final thoughts, questions, concerns, Kevin?
A pike is not a hollow.
Pike is not a hollow. F and A right. F and A.
No, I think it's just the final thought. Again, I mean, the P-Volve. I mean, if you see a workout program that's like being promoted on Instagram, it's an influencer, and they're doing something where you're like, you might need at least a master's in physics to do what they're doing or understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's probably not the most effective.
Yeah.
Not saying that it won't be hard,
Yep.
because if you try and juggle 3 bowling pins while on one leg with the P ball in between your legs, I can guarantee you that's hard.
It will be difficult.
But difficult does not equate to effective.
Absolutely.
So be wary when you're on the internet and the interwebs and you're seeing people do stuff and it looks funky, or the movements look really nuanced, or you have to watch it a seventh time to see exactly what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Steer clear of that stuff.
As
If you
my father,
see
go
if you
ahead.
see red numbers, little gray numbers scratched out, that's not the real price.
No.
And if you're a little bit blocked up, bear hug a sandbag.
Yep.
Boom.
As my father likes to say, believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see.
What about stuff you don't see?
I'll believe that shit for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No questions. All right, everybody. Thank you for playing along at home. We hope you'd enjoy this, and we'll see you next time. Bye.